Hi there, it's Darlene. I hope you're doing well. So, when I'm doing this stuff, I certainly do meet a lot of friends in odd places. I'm going to introduce you to one tonight. Because I end up doing a lot of poking and prodding and digging around and meet a lot of people online now. And people come forward with information, and I so appreciate that because people like to share their experiences. And they're not like me because they actually give a crap what the community thinks of them. And I don't blame them at all. Could be a nasty cutthroat industry. But they know that I'll keep their anonymity, so they tell me stuff and bring me information, and I end up making a lot of friends in odd places because of that. And then I end up blurting things out like this to them on Messenger. But it's kind of nice because people can come to me because they want their voice to be heard, right? And they want the truth to be known. And I can provide a venue for that, right? They can tell me this stuff and I can give them that anonymity and that like Chinese curtain so that they can have their voices and their stories told. And I can tell it for them as best I can. I actually spend hours and hours and hours of time talking to people every day and connecting the dots and researching and fielding all kinds of calls for help, people trying to get their money back and all kinds of stuff. And guys, keep in mind that this channel really does run on donations. I hope that I'm providing you with evidence for your chargebacks, for civil litigation. I hope I'm helping you to be able to make an informed decision about whether to buy the program or not. And I hope I'm saving you some money. And if I am being of any kind of a service, maybe you could consider buying me a cup of coffee. I sure hope you would think about it. The donation link is in the description and pinned at the top of the comments, and there's a super thanks button as well. So this particular person here, we will call Bob. Bob is in the Diamond Club of Seven Figure Accelerator. I'm choosing the name Bob because it's easy to say and it's slightly ridiculous. It is gender neutral. Bob has been in the program for quite some time, and I needed to get the history of the upsells, this one-on-one, Diamond Club. Is it the inner circle? Is it what? Is it this? Is it that? This is when I was trying to figure out about the lifetime cookie thing. And this conversation here was the final clarification and the final proof that I needed, because Bob here was able to confirm about how these commissions are actually going astray and had concrete proof because it happened to him. And Bob would like to share it. So about a week and a half or so ago, we chatted over Messenger, and this was all done on voice, okay? And so I simply recorded it and then used a free transcription thingy on the internet and put it into writing. And so what you've got is the raw coverage because Bob was not about to be recorded for obvious reasons. So you've got it in the exact words. Now, I have had to cut large chunks out because we did get talking about very specific examples, and that I cannot tell you. But other than that, here it is, and I'll be giving you some explanations as well. So my question was, hey, I need to pick your brains if I may. I'm now realizing some things that I need to verify with someone who has some corporate knowledge of this program. Am I right in thinking that at one time this was only one product with no upsells? If so, when did the idea of one-on-one or Diamond Club or anything extra as an upsell come about, and how? How did Philip even introduce it? Any pertinent info would be great. Thank you. So now to give you a really quick rundown of the timing of this, because our conversation kind of goes around in circles and gets a little bit confusing even to me when I was in it, and I had to at some point kind of lay out the timelines. It's hard when you're remembering this stuff. So from what I've even tracked down myself, this program started around June of 2022, or possibly a bit earlier in the year than that, but definitely by June. Then in December, Philip came out with what was called the seven-figure multiplier. The seven-figure multiplier costed $9.97, and the person was supposed to get a commission bump from 50% up to 65%, and also was then able to sell all of Philip Johansen's previous low-ticket items that were on Warrior Plus, and they would get 100% commissions on them, and they would put it into an email sequence. Fairly useless because these products had all been sold the crap out of before. Now, at the same time, sometime in the year, in 2022, towards the end of it, I'm thinking November, December from when I'm judging, because you see, I'm on Philip's autoresponder too. Well, I've been on for years, since he first started in affiliate marketing back 3 years ago in Ministry of Freedom. I always looked up to him, so I've always been on his, on his autoresponder kind of seeing what products he was putting out. I bought plenty of them. So I noticed that in November and December, he started really hitting it hard about getting the one-on-one, always one-on-one. And so see, what would happen is if you were one of his affiliates and you sold this program, the seven-figure accelerator to someone, Philip would also get that person's email address because he's the vendor, right? And then he would start hitting them as I say, towards the end of the year. He would then start hitting them with these, have the one-on-one calls with me, sign up for one-on-one. And this was the huge upsell that was like 5,000. I've heard 5,000 from some people, 5,800 from others. And that's at the very, very lowest end. Some people back then paid up to $50,000. I've heard of now 2 cases of people back then paying that much. And would the affiliate that brought that person in get any commission for that upsell? Oh, heck no. That went directly to Philip. And Bob even will tell you about that. That Bob was seeing, because Bob paid to get into Diamond Club, and then Bob was seeing his own referrals come into Diamond Club, and Bob wasn't getting any commissions off that, nor did Philip even mention it. Philip was just pocketing them. Then, as I said, in December came the seven-figure multiplier, so you would get at least a commission bump for seven-figure accelerator. And then, when people started complaining about not getting any commissions on the one-on-one, Philip came out with the Book a Call funnel, and this was the birth of the lifetime cookie. Okay, you're now all getting this special funnel, and all of your prospects are going to be going to his closers. Okay, they were going to have to book a call with these closers and then get sold on either just the seven-figure accelerator, or hopefully the much larger sale being the upsell to one-on-one coaching. Well, that went over like a lead balloon, because a lot of people weren't even making it through the Book a Call funnel because they would stop and go, wow, I don't want to be talking to a salesperson. No way. So people were losing commission, were losing leads that way. And then also when you were answering their questionnaire before you could book the call, if you didn't put down that you were willing to spend $1,000, you didn't get a call. You would get this, this video back from Philip saying, sorry, bye-bye. And so then these people were going back to the person, the affiliate saying, WTF, they wouldn't even take the time to talk to me. So the affiliates were not happy because they were losing sales. So everybody was up in arms because they were losing sales. And so then they had a Zoom call on March the 8th. And that's where Philip sold them the idea of a hybrid funnel. So you could have this one link with the lifetime cookie on it that would go to their Book a Call funnel, and then this other one that supposedly went to that did go to the sales video, and where then hopefully you would get your commission on the seven-figure accelerator. And yet, just a month after that call on April the 8th, Philip Johansen bailed the hell out of Warrior Plus and went on over to Copecart. And there's the history. So now, when I asked about how did Philip bring in the one-on-one Diamond Club stuff, here's the answer that I got. Well, I joined somewhere around October, and I think right around that time, it might have been starting. Well, okay, let me go back. I remember they were having a special then, and it was like, okay, the price is going to go up to $300 or $2,500, so you should get in now. So I did. I'm not exactly sure when the one-on-one came, but I think it was because you're on his email list that you found out, because whenever you go purchase something in Warrior Plus, then you're on the product creator's email list. Right, and that's exactly what I was telling you about. You'd be on the vendor's email list. And keep in mind that Bob here purchased through an affiliate, not Philip. And then Bob purchased one-on-one, and that affiliate did not get the commission, okay? And I think that's how I found out about it. And he was marketing that heavily like crazy. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I need to get in now, because at some point he's going to have too many people and he won't be able to do the one-on-one. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I need to do this now because I want to be one of those people who gets the one-on-one WhatsApp and, the Zoom calls with him, because it was marketed to me. I think it was two Zoom calls a month that you would get with him, like 45 minutes or an hour. As time went on, I'm like, what the heck? He keeps marketing this like big time, like, every single day, get my one-on-one, through email. And I saw all the people that were joining the Diamond Club, and I'm like doing the math. It's like, there's no way that he can do this. And he knew that, And then it just kept going and going and going. And then, people, then he would say, okay, now it's 4-to-1. So it'd be 4-to-1 rather than one-on-one. And then those people never, a lot of them, never ever got their one-on-one that they paid for in the first place with him. Like friends that I referred. I think when people would say, how they weren't getting results, that he would use that to, if you want my one-on-one help, kind of to get results like other people are getting, and a lot of people would think, okay, the people that are making the most money, they're in the one-on-one, so they have to do that, so they can get the same kind of results as these top earners are getting. And frankly, I've seen Philip do that even in Zoom calls. When people are asking, he's like, well, join one-on-one. He would say, if you want to earn more commissions or higher commissions, you have to buy one-on-one, because when you're in his one-on-one, you get your commissions bumped up a little bit. And that's true. When you move up to Diamond Club, one-on-one, inner circle, whatever you want to call it, it is 60% commission then, rather than the 50%, which is normal for 7-figure Accelerator. My gosh, you just reminded me of the multiplier. That's right. Okay, so I forgot that. So what that was they would add extra email follow-ups to your email sequence, and those would be, it was his products inside of Warrior Plus. So like pretty low ticket things. I never made anything on it. So those would earn 100% commissions, but they were like, I don't know, maybe $27 products or, real low ones. So that's what that is. But get this. So when people were joining me, so that's what the upsell. So that was the upsell. So they would come in, and this is right before he went to Copecart. So people were joining, and they're like, okay, so he's going to Copecart because you got 65% commissions if you got the multiplier. So your commissions would be bumped. Plus, you'd have those Warrior Plus products of his that you added onto the email sequence that you're in 100%. Because if you didn't do the multiplier, you'd get 50%. If you did the multiplier, you'd get 65%. So, and it cost you $997. So what this means is that Philip was still selling the multiplier even into the new year and up to the moving to Copecart. And when those people would only then get the commission bump through Warrior Plus, this would be lost going to Copecart. People were joining me. They're like, okay, should I get the multiplier? I mean, are my commissions going to be higher once they go to Copecart? That was another huge lie. These people just wasted $1,000 because I wrote to support like, well, how are they going to know? How are you going to know that they purchased that? Because we're switching over to Copecart. And then from support, they said that they would know and they would just automatically give those people the higher commissions. And I'm thinking to myself, that's weird. How would they know? Because how it was before, it was this deal, okay? When they were switching over to Copecard, I thought to myself, well, how are they going to know? I mean, how are they going to know who's who? Because this is Warrior Plus and he's going to Copecard. But support told me, yes, they would know. They would know and they would get the higher commission. So I told them, yes, you'll get credit for it when you go to Copecard. Well, then I started realizing that's a big lie. So then anybody who asks if they should get it, I just told them, well, it's probably not worth it, really. So yeah, I mean, he would be making money off of our referrals when they upgraded, just him, because he said there's no way to track that unless he goes to Copecard. And then we would have his tracking link that he would be able to track it back to us. Even though you told him, Joe Blow, and this was actually a name, but I changed it. I told him, Joe Blow booked a call and he got one-on-one and he told the coach, or whatever they're called, the head coach, that's the salesperson, that he wanted to make sure that I got credit for it. And the head coach, sales guy, said yes. And Philip said yes. Philip didn't actually say that. Okay. So it went like this, and I never saw that commission. And I was messaging him on WhatsApp, and he's like, Jane Doe, this is a different example, just needs to book a call with my head coach because, he wouldn't get on a phone call with her. So she did that, and then she joined at the $10,000 level. And yeah, it was before that because I knew she was going to do that. Guess what? Bob never got the commission. And I said, hey, can I get some credit for these people that are upgrading that I'm referring? They're in the group coaching and they're my referrals. Can I get credit for that? Because I knew some people were getting links ahead of time, that they gave people that they knew were going to be upgrading. So he did finally give me a link, and I had given it to some people, that had upgraded. And then I asked him how I was going to get paid for that. And he said, once we could go to Copecard, you'll get paid. And that never happened. My God, magical lifetime cookies. Copecard's going to fix everything when Copecard doesn't do anything. So yeah, people were just supposed to get, it was like he was just keeping all the money, because he said there's no way that it can be tracked. Although since I asked him, he did give me a link, and it didn't take him long. He just came right back and gave me the link. So 1 minute, Philip can't track it. Next minute, he can give out a link. Then it's Lifetime Cookiesville and no real links being given out anymore. All to funnel the money where? To Philip Johansen. But yeah, there was all kinds of people that the referrals were upgrading and they didn't ever get the commission. So yeah, I figured out for all the people that I sent to him, there was, and then Bob stated the amounts of the commissions, and I'm not going to say, thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? So supposedly you were supposed to get higher commissions inside of Copecard if you got the multiplier, but that never happened. And all the commissions went down because they were using closers. So they had to pay the closers. And so he said that people would get that higher commission, but they never did from the multiplier. Okay, now right now Bob is actually confusing two different things, kind of muddling them in, but both things did happen for sure. Okay, so there was the issue of the multiplier. That was one issue, and we've just gone right through that. Then there was, when I mentioned in mid-February, when they came out with the new funnel, the book a call funnel, where everybody had to go talk to the closers, all the new prospects. That is what's being talked about here, that all the commissions went down because they were using closers. Because you see, before, the affiliates would have been getting 50% commissions until they went to the book a call funnel. And then Philip said, well, his closers need to make a commission as well. So then the affiliates commissions went down to 37%. However, if you'd bought that multiplier, then your commission would be at 65%. So that would have made a huge bloody big difference. But they never got it. So that's a huge percentage that they didn't see. Instead, they're only supposed to be getting that 37%, but they weren't even getting that, actually. And you're going to see this as well because number one, so people were sending them to this fake affiliate link with the fake lifetime cookie, and people would have to book a call with a salesman. So number one, they were losing leads right off the bat there because nobody wants to book a call with a salesman. Because I remember getting these emails from Philip, and I even kind of wanted to know. It was like, geez, what is Philip selling here? And then I went in, and they were asking all these questions, and then it got into financial questions about how much I'd want to spend, and I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm out of here. And I backed right out and didn't finish it. Well, some people did finish it, and apparently if they didn't put in that they were willing to spend at least $1,000, they didn't even get to book a call. They didn't even get a call. Okay. And then they would go back to the affiliate and say either A, I'm not going to go talk to a salesman, or B, more importantly, I got turned down. So the affiliates were not happy. Also, those that did buy, the affiliates were never sure if they actually got the commission because they saw people coming into Diamond Club that were their referrals. But guess what? Philip was saying, oh no, they must have clicked on somebody else's link, and the lifetime cookie would know because it's a lifetime tracking cookie, which of course was complete and utter bullshit. All of these sales, all these commissions were still just going to Philip, and he was assigning them as he sees fit. Some went to the appropriate affiliates, most not. And so in February, these people saw a real decline in their commissions. Now, if you're one of his one-on-one students, you did get a little bit of a bump in your commissions, but not for the multiplier. So that was not true at all when he said that people would. But that's why people were buying the multiplier, is because they're like, if it was Warrior Plus, it was 65%, which was really good. But that's why they were getting it, while it was still in Warrior Plus, because they thought once it went to Copecart that they would get that higher commission. So they set up, it was first the funnel where they could only book a call. So yes, you did have another link because it was a separate funnel. So yes, you had a different link, but it wasn't, your commissions weren't increased in that funnel. Everyone's the same. Well, if you had the one-on-one, it was supposed to be higher commissions for you. And yes, if you have like Diamond Club, Inner Circle, whatever you want to call it, that is 60% commissions. But I believe even they were getting less with the book a call feature thing because Philip plainly stated you had to pay the sales, the closers. But this was supposed to balance out for you, right? Because although you were taking less of a commission, you were supposed to be making far, far, far higher sales because of all the one-on-one. But people didn't. Their commissions tanked. They didn't like it. But I remember, too, he changed the funnel several times. I remember, too, that you could still use the Warrior Plus funnel, which a lot of people did because they didn't like it when someone had to book a call. That would be when he came out with a hybrid funnel, which he suggested on March the 8th in that Zoom call. And then their commissions, of course, would be lower, too. But then Philip was saying you always take the chance that you're going to miss a commission. I think I missed like 4 in there because of that. Good grief. 4 times $2,000, that's $4,000 worth of commissions right there. So then I was trying to get, as you notice, the dates kind of got a little scroogey in that last bit, and I had to keep you straight on that. So this is when I asked Bob, I'm asking you to remember the dates on this. What kind of the basic timing? Because it was mid-February when you got the quote, unquote, lifetime cookie, and it wasn't until April the 8th that you got moved to Copecart. So when did your commissions really drop? Did you notice a difference in February? Because you probably should have. Yeah, you really should have known something happening after the middle of February. Right, because middle of February is when the quote-unquote lifetime cookie and the book a call funnel came in. Bob, but yeah, there was a time where you could just send someone to the book a call link or you could just send them to the Warrior Plus link. I don't remember when mine dropped, but it's probably right around February. But yeah, my commissions were just not, there wasn't that many towards the end there. I mean, I got some, but it wasn't like when I first started. But I feel like in the beginning, a lot of mine came from people who knew me, like from other programs. But they're like, what the heck's Bob doing? I need to do it because he's, how he told you to do the carousel posts and your videos and stuff about how you're getting all this money. And so that works because people were like, oh, I need to check out what Bob's doing. So again, we have an example of a marketer that came in from another program, had lots of contacts. So of course, when you're putting this all out there on social media, I mean, people are going to be going, hey, Darlene, what are you doing to get all these leads, to be getting all this money? What you doing? So that's what was happening, is Bob was getting these people in under his good name. And then Philip was stealing them away and upselling them to his own upsells and not even sharing the commissions. Well, first of all, not even telling Bob, until Bob is seeing them coming in the door of the Diamond Club and then finally asking about it. And then, oh, well, it's impossible to trace, moi, 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 moi. And then, oh, okay, well, here's your link. And then, oh, okay, I can't do it until Copecart. And, oh my God, it's constant subterfuge while he's hiding the commissions and pocketing them. And the funny part is that I saw proof today of 2 different top earners that definitely knew that Philip is stealing commissions, and they're doing nothing about it. I can imagine why not. They've got lifestyles to keep up now, and yet they keep selling this system, and they know it's being gamed. People, the FTC is not going to be blind to this for much longer. But I am, because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And when I say today I heard about it, no, it was yesterday. It's 8 a.m. now here. I am out of here, and I hope you are too. And I hope you remember where that donation box is on your way out. You take care today. Darlene out.